Fellow cardboarders, welcome back and a happy 3-year anniversary of the CardboardTutor community. Real quick before we hit into the video, don't forget our upcoming live stream on October 25th, 2025 at 8 p.m. GMT+2 CEST, where we're gonna build a deck together while hanging out and celebrating 3 years on YouTube. So I'd be very happy to see you there. But now, on to the video. After 38 videos of deck techs on decks, different budget variances, different sub-formats of Commander, I thought it would be great also to celebrate 3 years on YouTube to see which decks actually survived on this channel. Let me know if you miss any of the decks that you thought I would totally still have, but actually apparently plucked apart. And I will tell you in the comments below why I took it apart. If you're wondering, you can also ask me on stream if you are there, so we have a little discussion live. And maybe the other way, maybe tell me which decks you wouldn't have expected to still see here. Without further ado, let's go into the very first deck. They are not in any specific order, so this is my first deck that I still have, the Malcolm and Breeches Partner PEDH Pirate combo deck. Most decks that you will see today here are just to inspire you to maybe build also a deck like this or any others, and most of them you will find on the channel. So maybe the top 5 or so I will, or my top favorite 5 I will put up here to also link there, but I will link all the decks that I have on this channel down in the description below if you want to click on that. Just an FYI, because I can't link more videos up here than 5, I think, or 6. So the Malcolm and Breeches deck is a very fun pirate deck that I still enjoy. It's a pirate PEDH deck that turns non-pirates into pirates and goes into infinite combos. And this is so crazy because this is a pauper deck and you can do that. And you can do it so redundantly and so consistently. You have control magic and are able to win around turn 3 or 4 already. So that is so amazing. And I still have this one because it's easy to play actually and shows what the pauper EDH format can actually do for you. This deck you can always build as a non-pauper format to go even further and win probably turn 1 or 2 already, but you don't have to, and you can blow people's brains out with that one, and it's just amazing. Great deck, very fun to play. Maybe you want to give it a try. This video didn't get as many views as I thought it would get. I don't know. I don't know why. Because I thought it had a cute thumbnail, but I guess not many people want to see fake pirates. I don't know. Let me know if this video inspired you to watch this, because I think it is very worth watching. Another partner pair here, we have Krark the Thumbless and Vial Smasher the Fierce, 2 goblin bros or siblings. And this is actually also one of my favorite decks. This is like a Rakdos Traps deck, so you have many cards that cost more mana but have alternative costs and for much less, and then Krark copies them is what you hope. If you don't, you get it back to your hand and you can cast it again for its cheaper costs, while also Vial Smasher deals more damage because of the actual mana costs in comparison to what you paid. So it is such a unique and cool deck. And this I actually think performed nicely. It was a longer video, I think like 40 minutes, I'm sorry. Maybe I should revise this video and do it again just to see how it looks today. Let me know if you would like that. I really like this deck. This is such a cool deck to play Rakdos with and just so chaotic. And yeah, check that one out as well. They're not in a specific order, so these two that they are one of my favorite decks doesn't mean that the next one is. Still, it's a fun deck to play. And it doesn't mean that this can't be your favorite deck. So we have Keskit and Toggo. Keskit, the Flesh Sculptor, lets you get 2 of 3 cards on top of your library, but you have to sack artifacts and creatures. And we have Toggo, Goblin Weaponsmith. I don't think this deck is on the channel now, is it? I should do that soon, because it is a fun deck to play. And it's also pauper and allows you to have landfall Rakdos artifact shenanigans. So you get Toggo out and get all the rocks, which are artifacts, and Keskit allows you to sack them for value and get more cards, while also dealing damage with cards in the deck that say whenever an artifact dies or whenever you create an artifact you deal 1 damage to everyone. And you have 2 or 3 of these out, and now it gets really scary because you deal repeated damage and have a repeated damage output with this deck. And yeah, it's like a late game kind of strategy. It's not really fast, but it's fun to play and see how many artifacts you can get out. Your hand is always full with stuff to play. It's crazy how well this deck performs, and it's fun. It's not the strongest, but it's a fun and budget deck to build, so maybe give it a try, and I should do a video on that one. So to be awaited, to be expected for me to build that one, or film that one actually. Next up is my Hanna pre-modern deck. This one I actually have also not shown to the channel yet, I think. I did my other pre-modern elves deck, which is also still here, spoiler. And this is my second pre-modern deck, which plays pre-modern combos. And it is not the strongest, but it's really interesting because people are like, okay, how does pre-modern Commander work? You only play old border cards, so 8th edition, or all cards before 8th edition, and you try to make it work, and people want you to see what you do. And most of the time then it's too late because you got a combo out, which is very crazy. Most of the people haven't seen it because they started playing like, let's say 1 to 5 years ago, most of them, and they haven't seen these cards. You know the classical combos, but these combos that the deck plays, most of you haven't seen. So it's a really fun deck, and also lets me play my old cards and show what old Boomer Magic looked like. So yeah, I really like that one as well. Think not one of my favorite decks, but a fun deck to play nonetheless. Now, another Pauper Commander deck. Keep in mind, all the Pauper Commander decks that I show, you can always build as a non-Pauper variant if you want to. If you're not into that, totally fine, but bear with me. This is actually one of my strongest decks. Also maybe one of my favorite decks. It's just so strong. A friend of mine played this in our community, and they just wiped the floors with our decks. Like, it was so crazy. This deck has no problem creating like 400, 500 life points, a big army of soldiers, and a whole bunch of card draw repeatedly. You wouldn't expect it from a white deck. It has Blink, it also has an infinite combo in here, and it's all Pauper. You should try that, and this whole deck costs like 20 bucks, 30 bucks, I don't know. Like, it's very cheap. So, which is also a great thing about this channel. If you're looking for budget decks, I have actually built a $6 deck already on this channel. So if you're into that, check that deck out as well. I don't have it here anymore because my brother-in-law has that, but he enjoys playing it nonetheless still. But it is on my channel and you can watch it if you're really into like seeing how far we can push budget by decreasing the price and still having a playable deck for just $6. If you have a big collection or people around you that have thousands of cards just lying around, why not ask them to give them to you for a small price? We have Yedora Gravegardener next. This is one of my favorite decks. It is so unique because the idea of this deck is you have a whole bunch of mana dorks and creatures you can sack to get more mana out, which doesn't sound strong and plays like 30 ramp cards or so. But whenever one of these non-token creatures die, they flip and turn into a forest. And this is the only deck that I ever built around sleeves. Because I'm playing the same artwork of forests in this deck, my creatures turn into the same artwork of sleeves forests, and it just looks so nice and people are always wowed by this deck, and I really like this. And it's strong, like it is almost towards like kind of CEDH-ish. It has some maybe 2 or 3 card combos. Normally you need your commander out. It is very strong. It is very strong on casual tables. You have infinite combos in here. It's mono green reanimator. It has everything that you want in a deck. and more because of the sleeves. So check that deck out. It must be one of my best performing videos on this channel because it is quite unique. Next up, we have a very mean deck. And the question maybe that you have, why are there so many extra cards? Are they all tokens? No. This is the second iteration or version that I built of Erinis, Gloomstalker and Street Urchin deck. Again, partners. You see there are many partners here that I like to play. More cards in the command zone means more value, I suppose, or just more consistency. I haven't done a revised version of this deck. Maybe if I get around 500 views, I'll do that. We're around 400 maybe now. So share this video around if you want to see an even stronger and meaner version, because I turned it now into a card draw is also your removal deck. And this is so brutal. Before that, it was also kind of that, but less of the card draw, but more of the regular creating artifacts kind of strategy. You take your artifacts, throw them at your opponents with your commander, and she has Death Touch, and you kill every creature that they have throughout the game. And it is such a mean deck. I wouldn't play it twice at the same evening, but from time to time you can pull it out and be like, it is a strong deck. It's also Pauper again. And then you start politicizing, and at some point you realize, okay, you got this table now, so let's start killing, you know. It is brutal. It is brutal. Next up, another Pauper deck. Shirei, Shizo's Caretaker. Shirei has been printed as an uncommon. I just had this foil version that some seller had offered, and I like this one more. This is also really mean reanimator deck. You just sack your whole board while keeping Shirei alive and reanimate everything every opponent's turn and get a whole bunch of value out. No opponent will keep cards in their hand, no creatures on the board like this, and then it drains them out throughout the game. It is so mean. If they can't remove this commander, they're basically toast. So it's a strong deck. I don't think it's my favorite deck, but it's a very strong deck. And also Pauper, if you don't build it Pauper, it's even stronger. But I like the restriction of being able to still do all that while playing Pauper. And next up, another Pauper, and then I promised no Pauper for the next 2 decks or so. We got a Gut, the Inspiring Leader here. This was my very first Pauper deck. It's a token strategy deck that takes your opponent's creatures from time to time, maybe their strongest one, maybe their commander, sacks it, turns them into a skeleton with menace, and attacks for 6 damage, and does that repeatedly. It's an easy to understand strategy, and at some point you have the problem of not having many cards in your hand, so you always have to think about how much you want to play and how much you want to keep for a board wipe and afterwards. So it's still a fun deck to play and to learn Magic also, because it's not too complicated. And I also have this on my channel, so check it out if you are interested in such a strategy of playing Pauper or general Commander. Raffine, Scheming Seer. This must be one of my more recent Commander decks. I had this one for quite a while. I took it apart at some point. I built it back together again. Now I'm thinking about actually taking it apart again. It is an Esper aggro deck, which is cool, really. Like, I like the idea, but at some point after like 2-3 years that I have this deck now, probably 2 years, it's 2022 that this card has been printed, I have enough of it, I think. It is a Madness deck also. It's really cool because it draws a whole bunch of cards, draws even double the cards at some point. Like, it is good. It's a good deck. Also fun to play. If you have never played a Esper aggro deck, you should totally try it out. But I think I have told this story so often now by playing this deck, I just had enough, you know, at some point. I just take decks apart if I had enough of them, you know. So this deck, CardboardTutor has been hiding a little, is a bigger deck. And this is actually still my modular Kalamax deck. I don't think I had this artwork back then, but I traded it from someone, I think, and it's cool, it's shiny. Also a deck I was thinking about taking apart, but then I realized I didn't have any other modular deck. Modular meaning that you can shuffle up the cards in different ways by creating different decks. So this is a 140 card deck, and you have all the instants in a 80 card pile and all the rest of the deck with lands and artifacts and creatures and stuff in the other 60 cards here, and then you shuffle 40 random instants into the deck, creating a new deck experience every time you unpack this deck. And it's really cool because sometimes you don't have an instant board wipe in your deck, sometimes you don't have an instant ramp in your deck, or less ramp, you know, and it's really cool to try to like steer this deck and see how it works, and most of the time it works out and explodes and wins games, which I really like. But again, I've told the story so often, and at some point it's like, yeah, I still have this deck, and sometimes I unpack it and play again, but I'm actually looking for an idea to have a different modular deck. I think back before I had this YouTube channel, I had a Atla Palani deck, Nest Tender, with random creatures that would crack out of the eggs, but it was always just like the strongest creatures in Naya, so yeah, that I also took apart after a couple of rounds, so it never went on the channel because I didn't have it back then. So Kalamax still exists, I don't know how long, but we'll see. The Sliver deck, as you can see, has been given to someone else who appreciated it. I traded on Facebook, and happy to see it to have a new home, because I also didn't play it anymore, but it is a really cool kind of deck strategy with being able to play modular slivers with always different commanders and always 2 different colors, but still playing 5 color, you know? And check this video out because it's one of my better performing decks as well. And yeah, if that interests you to play a fresh deck strategy with slivers, like 60 or 70 decks are possible now with the amount of commanders that we have here. Next up, 6 more decks. We have Tetsuko Umezawa, Fugitive. This is my oops, no blockers, or can't block. I don't know how I called it. Oops, no blocks, I think. Everything in this deck is unblockable, and you win with Infect by buffing your creatures at instant speed after blocks have been declared that weren't able to be blocked anyways. So this surprisingly throws out people out of the game out of nowhere, and it's great. It's a great deck, it's a fun deck, and also like a blue aggro kind of deck. Watch it, it's a cool deck to play. It's also Pauper. If you don't want to build it Pauper, be even meaner, do that. It is a really cool idea, I think, with this deck that I built here. Kamahl, this is my second pre-modern deck, the English translation here, and it is my mono green pre-modern elves deck. So no Pauper. all the great elves are in here. And yeah, I showed it to the channel also. It's a great elves deck with all the old classic elves that you know. And not much to say here. You just throw out all your elves and just give them all +3/+3 and trample and kill everyone. Most of the time it's quite explosive. Like one turn you just churn out all the creatures and you're like, okay, I have all the mana now, and then you're all dead. Great deck. Speaking of dealing a whole bunch of damage, Zada Hadron Grinder as a Pauper deck. You can also build no Pauper, but then you would have the problem of people always removing Zada. In a Pauper variant, people are more interested in seeing, okay, what can Pauper do here? And there's a comedy video that I did where I pre-sorted my deck and tried to win turn 1 with Zada. I did one mistake. I don't know if someone found it out. I think someone found out what mistake I did and put it into the comments. And yeah, but it was still doable. Like I was like, okay, you found it, and this is actually the way how to do it. And yeah, this can win turn 1 with the perfect god hand and the perfect next 7 cards that you would have to draw. It is strong. It blows out games after like turn 4 or 5. It's possible to just kill everyone if you have a good hand. Like it's explosive and it's fun, and it's mono red goblins and copying spells. What's not to love here? Another of my favorite decks is the Tymna Tana 4-color land trebuchet deck. Also one of my very first commander deck tech videos that I did, and it's so unique. The idea of this deck is These you just need for color, this maybe for just some card draw. And then you have cards like Land Tax and Seismic Assault to ramp yourself ahead, fix your colors, and also have a whole bunch of lands in your hand to be able to take out creatures that annoy you, or start throwing lands into opponents' faces. And this deck can actually deal 120 damage without any problem at some point throughout the game. It's really unique. It is not CDH by any means, but yeah, it's strong and it's fun. It's a really fun idea. Queza. This I actually have on Mox Field. I forgot about. I built it. I was like, that's a cool deck. It's a combo deck. And it's Esper, again, a pauper deck. As you can see, I have many pauper decks on this channel and still have those, own those decks. Because I like that they are budget and you have most of the cards at home and you don't need to order cards if you have a big collection, which I have. I've been playing for 26 years, 3 years of these on YouTube, and I think I have to do the video now because I totally forgot about that. It's interesting. It's similar to the Tatiova deck that I gave to my uncle, I think. So a Simic combo deck. This is similar, but Esper and also drains life and tries to win with wheels as well. Haven't done a video yet, this will come up soon, so stay tuned if you're interested in that and to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And now lastly, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my Kheru Goldkeeper deck, another pauper commander deck, and this is the only and first one that I did with a non-legendary uncommon. This is how pauper works actually, but normally, as you can see, all my pauper decks have legendaries here because I don't want any discussions of people being like, well, it's not a legendary, why are you able to play it? Well, that's pauper, and I wanted to build that, and the idea was most people will not mind if you say it's a pauper deck. This is how pauper is played. People will be interested to see what pauper can do with a non-legendary creature, which can be quite refreshing to see creatures that you normally don't see as commanders. And Kheru Goldkeeper is another Sultai combo deck that is quite consistent because it plays around like 10 tutors or so, and you tutor up the cards that you actually need and win from there. Now again, all the decks are in the description below if you want to check out any specific deck. I think 2 of these I haven't shown to the channel, 3 I haven't shown to the channel yet, which will come throughout the upcoming weeks and months probably. All the other decks that you don't see I no longer have, so let me also know in the comments which one you actually missed from the channel. And I will tell you. Also let me know which of the decks you thought I would have taken apart and maybe what one of your favorite decks are in the comments below. Hope to see you in the live stream. Again, October 25th, 2025 at 8 PM GMT +2 CEST. Mark your calendars and I hope to see you there. Until then, subscribe to the channel, click on another video, and hope to see you there. Take care and bye-bye.